Yeah, Kriti, now you can share your screen and you'll continue.
Okay, sure. All right, hi everyone, and welcome to the Azure 104 class. So let's begin with the session. Okay, so I welcome you all. So I'm going to introduce you to the Azure Cloud Security Masters Program. First of all, hi everyone. Just I want to confirm that everyone's listening to me and I'm audible.
Yeah, audible.
All right, wonderful. So today we are going to do a demo session on Azure 104. So basically, it's an associate level certification. So if you want to begin your career in cloud computing, this is one of the best certifications to go forward with. All right. So let's just go ahead with an icebreaker question first. And I'm so sorry for the background noise though, but like, okay, so how are you all guys preparing to enter your dream company? So I really want to know, let's break the ice here and talk about stuff, how you all are preparing to enter your dream company, or someone can tell their dream company as well. Like anyone who would like to engage, in this productive conversation. Okay, I'm still waiting. Is there someone who wants to, discuss what their dream company is or how they are, actually preparing or investing in their career to make a better choice to land a high-paying job? Or you can even share what you are currently doing and what your plans are, and what made you, attend this session. Anything that's welcome here.
Hi Akriti,
Yeah,
Rahul this
Rahul.
side.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Rahul.
So I've been working in service desk for 3-4 years now, and my aim is to land a good job in a product-based company. So to get that, I have to get good experience and knowledge on any product. Like these are Microsoft products, Azure, and these are the certifications for Microsoft Azure, Azure Security. So
Hi.
this is what I was thinking. So I opted for this course. Like I should know about it, and then if my interest lies in it, then I should continue with this course. That's what I'm
Hmm.
thinking of doing.
Okay, that's wonderful, Rahul. So, first of all, that's amazing that you spoke up. That's great. So, I wish you all the best, and I hope the session would actually bring you clarity, if you want to go forward with this and how it feels. So, don't worry about that. Our trainer would cover everything. In fact, we have our engineers here who are actually working in the industry. So, of course, you will get to learn a lot in this session. All right. So, on that note, let's meet our cloud engineer, AK, who's going to be your trainer. So, here is Sandeep. He's been working for over 8 years now in the industry as a senior cloud operations engineer. And he has many, in fact, numerous certifications under his belt. We have the Azure 104, and then we also have the 500 Azure one, and then we have MCSA and MDM 102. So, as far as training experience is concerned, he has been training for over 5 years now, and he has covered various technologies such as Azure. Then we have MCSA, we have Intune's Office 365, and SACM. So, I'm pretty sure that you'll learn a lot today, and you can clear all your queries with him, of course, after he, takes the session, and then you can obviously go ahead with your doubts and ask him up. So, on that note, today's agenda, you're going to learn what actually is cloud computing. Should you actually go ahead and make a career in cloud computing? And then you would also demonstrate a lab on hosting a website on Windows. You'll get to learn how to do that. And then, of course, you'll learn about the Linux machine. So, this is going to be quite interesting one. And yes, of course, it's going to be a great session today. So, actually, let me introduce or shed some more light on our master's program. So, our Azure Cloud Security Master's program is a collection of three quite important and valuable certifications in the industry. So, of course, our engineers have strategically created this program so that you can start right from the basics, which is the Azure 104, and then you can actually step up to Azure 700, of course, including the Azure 500. So it completely depends on you if you want to simultaneously, enroll in these three courses at the same time. If you don't have, of course, if you don't have the time constraints. However, if you are a working professional, of course, many of you must be. So it's great that you can invest almost like 6 months for this program, and then you can actually aim for higher salary in the industry. So, of course, we'll also help you with the job assistance after the course is completed. So, we'll help you landing a job. And you'll also get the live sessions as well as the recordings of the previous batch as well. So, that is going to be a lot of content for you. And you'll also get exclusive career roadmaps. A lot of people, in fact, students, they struggle with how to go about these courses. Once you're done, what's the actual path to land a job? So we'll help you with that as well. And of course, our trainer would give you the exam guidance so that if you're interested in taking up these certifications under your belt, of course, our trainer would prepare you for that as well. Okay, so on that note, next up, this is something really exciting I want to tell you. So, we have decided that it's really important for everyone to experience how the course is like, before, of course, making a buying decision. It's important to experience how it is, how the quality is, right? And there are a lot of different competitors in the market as well. So, on that note, we are actually giving 3 days free trial of our all access pass. So, all access pass, what it is, you must be thinking. So, all access pass, it is amalgamation of 50 plus courses. So, there are a lot of courses on cloud computing, then we have networking, we have cybersecurity, and DevOps. So all these courses, you can either take it the English one or the English one. You also get the Mr. Atul Sharma's Access Pass, where you can access all his videos on networking. So let me tell you how you can actually avail this free trial. What you have to do is you can just go on Google or like on Safari, whatever you have, and then you can just type nwkings.com/meeting. Okay, it would take you to our website. On the meetings page, you can quickly book a meeting. You just have to enter an email address, and our career counselor would connect with you. And once you have a productive session, they would always obviously they would guide you for your career choices, and they can tell you about the roadmap that you can follow. And then you can actually avail the 3 days free trial. So in these 3 days, you would have unlimited access of the complete course. So you can watch all the videos that they are present in the all access pass. And then you can actually experience what is inside this course. So that's pretty exciting for sure. You can definitely, after this session ends, you can definitely book a meeting with our career counselor. And I would drop this link in the chat as well for your reference. Okay, so here are some of our students' testimonials. These are the students who have actually, built or even switched their careers from non-tech to technical backgrounds, mostly in networking, and some of them are in cloud computing as well. So that's pretty interesting. And just to quote, we have actually transformed over 40,000 careers since 2013. So that's how we are going. Okay, so on that note, I know a lot of you must be having some basic queries, if it's even worth it going with the AZ-104 or you can actually do this course. So, on that note, I would actually like to address this down with our trainer. So, hi Sandeep, are you here?
Hey Akriti, good morning.
Hi, good morning, very good morning. So it's just a quick break it down segment in our session where we would actually like to address some of the pretty, popular questions that these students have. So I would actually like you to answer like few questions for us. So one of them is like, who do you think can actually take up the AZ-104 course, or what do you suggest, right? How would you go about it?
Yeah, so basically, so if let's say someone is already working in IT field, right? So if let's say you're working as a desktop support or you're already working as a systems engineer, right? You stuck in your career and you want to upgrade yourself, right? So in that case, 104 is going to help you out because nowadays all of the companies are just moving to the cloud, right? So cloud is on boom right nowadays. Even multiple cloud tools are there, like software as a service. You can take one example. We have Office 365, we have Intunes, right? So in that case, no need to configure infrastructure in your on-prem environment. So everything is going to be there on cloud itself. So definitely, so once you will be handy with the cloud tool, you will be handy with the Azure. So then you can land a good job, you can get a good job, and you can get a good hike on your current salary.
Okay, that's a great answer. And of course, let's address the elephant in the room. What are the salary expectations that students can, think about after the AZ-104 certification or the course mainly?
Y-
What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
yeah. So Akriti, I just want to be very transparent on this part, right? So it totally
Of
depends
course.
on the performance, like how candidate is performing in the interview, right? So if let's say you have a background of IT, right, and you learned AZ-104, and even I'm going to teach in this whole module, so I'll be preparing the students that they will be able to mention in their CV that they have around 2 years of experience. I will teach in such a way, and I will ask them to mention all these things in their CVs, so that it will give a good weightage to their CVs as well. And if I'll talk about the package, right? So yes, freshers, it might be difficult to enter into the cloud, because see, they are looking for the person who has some experience on like on-prem infrastructure also, right? So if I'm talking about a 2 years of 3 years of experience in cloud, then definitely they can get a minimum of 12 LPA in the industry, and rest
Okay.
depend on the performance.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, of course,
Yep,
that it's pretty important to have, hands-on experience at least of 2 years in cloud.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, amazing. Okay, the last question is like, is it really necessary to actually give the exam, to take the exam for AZ-104 so that they can then apply for the jobs? Or is it okay that they can, move ahead with the course and then apply for the jobs after that simultaneously?
Okay, so I can give you just my example, right? So when I just applied for a cloud operations engineer, right? So at that time, I was not having the certification, but I was having the good knowledge. I was having the practical knowledge that how it can be done, what is the basic concepts of cloud, what are load balancers, what are virtual machine skill set. So multiple technologies are there in Azure. So I was just aware of it. So after just getting the job, even company helped me to get the certification, global certification. So yes, it is not as much important. Knowledge is must. Knowledge is the key to get the job, and to get a job in cloud technology, right? So I would prefer knowledge rather than certification. But yes, if you're going for the certificate, definitely it will make your portfolio. It will make the portfolio good portfolio, and can get a job also. Yep.
Okay,
So there are
that
two
was
things, right? Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that was wonderful. Such an amazing answer to that. So, okay, that's me. I hope that I was able to solve some of the basic queries of everyone here, right? So, yeah, I would like to, I would ask Sandeep to share his screen so that you can go ahead with it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, Akriti. Can you please make me a co-host, Akriti?
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
second. I'll
Thank you.
just ask her. So, yeah,
Yeah,
just a
sure,
second.
sure. Thank you. So everyone, hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, visual.
Yes, it is.
All right, all right, all right. So, yep. So as Akriti explained, right? So I'm working as a senior cloud operations engineer, and I have around 8 year of experience in industry, and I'm working on multiple technologies, right? And in trainings, so I'm associated with networking from last 5 years, and I'm giving training in multiple technologies, right? So here we are going to cover 104 and what and all modules are going to be there, what and all topics are going to be there that we will discuss today, right? And then we will do a short demo of hosting a website on a Windows machine as well as on a Linux machine, right? So what is cloud computing? Anybody can explain what is cloud computing, guys? Just your thoughts on cloud computing.
Creating and managing the infrastructure, IT infrastructure on cloud instead of on-premise.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Right. So earlier in traditional method, right, what we used to do, we have to procure the we have to procure the hardware, right? Like servers we have to procure, and then we will be needing the backup, we will be needing the uh, um, network, right? And multiple things are there if you will compare it with on-prem technology, on-prem infrastructure, basically. But on cloud, Microsoft or whatever cloud vendors are there, right? So there are multiple cloud vendors in market. AWS is there, Google Cloud, GCP is there, right? So what they are saying, just create the infrastructure, create your infrastructure. I will make that vendor will make your uh, infrastructure available for everyone. So there are multiple type of redundancies there. You can configure the redundancy. Let's say one server is down. So in that case, they will move all your data to any other virtual machine, right? So basically, what and all these network things, what and all these backup things, right? Power, everything is going to be managed by the vendor. So in our case, Microsoft is going to manage it. If you are going to configure any of the infra on Azure, so on the back end, Microsoft will manage all the things. If let's say there is power outage, again, Microsoft will make sure that our services should be available for our customers every time, 24 into 7. Configuration we are going to do from our end, but on the back end, what and all operations are there that will be managed by the Microsoft. Same in case of AWS, same in case of Google. So the thing is, we need not to worry about that one person should be there every time in the data center, right? And for example, I have configured one virtual machine, right? And I'm not satisfied with the compute power of that VM. Let's say I configured a virtual machine with 8 GB RAM and two virtual CPU. Just I'm taking one example, right? In real time, it can be more. In real scenarios, it can be more, right? But let's say I'm not able to operate the operations over there. My server is very slow, right? My customers are not able to reach to my services. So in that case, what we can do, we can customize our virtual machine in just a single click. It's just a matter of a click and you can customize it and you can upgrade, you can resize your virtual machine. But in case of on-prem, right, you have to first of all get the hardware. You have to stop the server and then you will be able to upgrade it. And you have to make sure that whatever hardware you are getting, it should be compatible with that motherboard of the server. So multiple things are there, and for that you will be needing then backup also. If let's say you are stopping the server, in that case you have to configure one more server so that your customers will be able to reach to the services which you are serving. Right?
So
So
in
this is just a yeah
sir, one
yeah
question. In
yep.
case of cloud, so we need to stop the server like so. In case of directly we can change the hardware.
No, just to resize, yes. Just for a, it will take 5 seconds or 10 seconds to resize the server, to resize the virtual machine. Yes, initially we have to stop it, but it will take only 10 seconds to resize your virtual machines. Okay, and depending upon your internet connectivity, right, it will not gonna take much time. You will be able to get it. So this is the benefit. This is just a small benefit, right? Like that, we have multiple things that cloud is giving us, right? You can take one example of this Office 365, right? Earlier, if you remember, we used to configure Exchange server in our on-prem network. But now what Microsoft is saying, just take Office 365 license, and whatever the backend is needed, whatever the infrastructure is needed, I am going to provide it. Microsoft is going to provide it. So that is called software as a service by Microsoft. All right. Now we're going to talk about cloud fundamentals first of all, and then I'm going to show you that what all topics we'll be covering in this whole in this whole AZ-104. So guys, strictly we are going to focus on the topics provided by the Microsoft. So we will follow the Microsoft website, right? What and all topics are there for 104 in Microsoft website, right? So we are going to follow and we are going to complete all those topics in our training. All right. So no need to worry about. And I am going to give you like a real-time exposure that how companies are working based on my experience, based on my current experience, and based on my previous experience, how companies are implementing these technologies in their infra, how they are helping their clients to get their services. So all of those stuff we'll be talking about in our upcoming lectures, right? So it is totally going to be a practical based scenario. We are not going to cover theory. 90% it is going to be a practical labs basis, and 10% basically you can say we will talk about the theory. Okay, and the topics that we will cover, for all those topics you will be getting the PPTs, you will be getting the interview questions, right? You will be getting the assignments. So everything I'll provide you. All right, so let's go to the our PPT, where actually we are talking about what is cloud computing. Yeah, so most of you are aware of, right, that what is cloud computing. Right, so cloud computing is basically giving you the opportunity to configure the infrastructure on the vendor's data center. Obviously, guys, on backend, it is going to be a data center only. Microsoft also has multiple data centers. If I'll talk about in India, they have data center in Pune, right? So physically, obviously, if I'm going to create a virtual machine, right? So that virtual machine is going to be configured on a physical hardware. So that physical hardware is basically is at Microsoft's site, Microsoft data center. Likewise, Microsoft has multiple data center in multiple countries. All right. So it is the delivery of computing services over the internet. Now you just need an internet connection. You can go to the Azure website and you can start configuring your virtual machine. Ravi, can you please mute yourself? Right? So there are multiple type of services like server, storage, database, networking, software, analytics, intelligence. You just need internet connection and you can connect your infrastructure from any corner of the world. For example, now see, this is my Azure portal, right? So if I want to create a virtual machine, I can create the virtual machine in US also. I can create virtual machine in Australia also. Because if let's say I have some of the client, right, which are in US or which are in Australia. So to get the low latency, what I will do, I am going to configure their infrastructure in their nearby location rather than going with any far location. Right? So it is going to give you the option. For example, I want to create a VM. So you can see here region. In my case, it is Central India, but no, I want to create it in any other location. So I will go to this drop down and you can see these are the locations available. So that means in this location, Microsoft is going to have a physical data center. So my virtual machine, which I'm going to create, it is going to be created in the physical data center of US. Likewise, South Central US, and then Australia, Southeast, North Europe. Like multiple countries are there, multiple locations are there where actually I can configure my infra. Right? And to connect this infra, I just need an internet connection. That's it. And I can connect it from any corner of the world. That is what I told. If I'm going to create the VM on US in US, right? So I can connect from India also. There's not any issue. All right. So this is what cloud computing is, that everything is going to be managed by the Microsoft. You have to just configure your infra. You have to just make your infrastructure. You have to make the configuration, and then it is going to be available for your customers. Okay. Then, okay, here also you can see storage services. You can take example of OneDrive now, right? On OneDrive, you can save your data. And that data you can access from any corner of the world again. You just need an internet connection. So that is also a cloud model. It is a storage that is Microsoft is providing. Right, I can collect OneDrive either from my laptop or from any other laptop. Even from my phone also, I can connect to my OneDrive and I can download the data or I can upload the data. So that is why, like, companies are going for the cloud technology, because it is giving the flexibility. It is not giving the restrictions to the user that you have to be in the same network, you have to be in the local network, then only you can opt for the services, then only you can use the services of your data center. So it is flexible, it is giving the flexibility. All right. Then we have cloud deployment model. So we have, first of all, service model and deployment model. So in deployment model, we have public cloud, hybrid cloud, and private cloud. And in service model, we have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Okay, let's talk about these models one by one. So what is public cloud? Public, you can say, you can take an example with the public transport, that it is going to be available for everyone. If you are traveling through train, right, or through aeroplane, so in that case everyone can book the tickets and they can travel. It is available for public. So same way, public cloud is going to be available for public, right? Then we have private cloud. Private cloud is going to be managed by that particular infrastructure, particular company only. It is going to be dedicated for that particular company. Basically, let me draw a diagram. From that, you will be able to understand it. So in our classes also, guys, we will understand the concept first of all through the diagram, that how these technologies work, and then we will implement our lab. Okay. So basically, Microsoft is going to have multiple racks in their data center, right? And on these racks, there are going to be multiple servers. They are going to mount multiple servers on these racks. So in case of public cloud, it might possible yeah, let's say this is the server, right? So in case of public cloud, it might possible that multiple virtual machines are configured here, of multiple organizations. Because obviously Microsoft is going to have a good compute on this hardware, like 512 GB of RAM, right? 80 virtual CPUs, like that. So in this case, in public cloud, it might possible that multiple companies are going to have their virtual machine on the same server. Like these are three companies, right? They have configured, their user have configured virtual machine. So it might be possible the virtual machine is configured on this server. Same way, this company also has the virtual machine on this server, and this company also. It is going to be on shared basis. Public cloud is going to be on shared basis. So it might possible on one hardware, multiple companies are sharing their resources. This is public cloud. But in case of private, if let's say you are going to opt for the private, right? In that case, a dedicated infrastructure is going to be assigned for your organization. Microsoft will not going to allow anyone to create infra at least on this machine, on this server, because it is dedicated for your company only. For example, I'm taking example of networkings only, right? So might be if they are going to opt for the private cloud, so in that case, this hardware is only assigned to NK. Other companies are not going to allow to create any kind of infra on this server. This is public cloud. Oh, sorry, private cloud. Public is this one, and this is private cloud, right? Then we have hybrid cloud. Hybrid is the combination of public and private both. Because see guys, yes, if you will compare the cost, public cloud is cheaper than private. Because obviously in public cloud, right? In public, so Microsoft is allowing to create infrastructure to create their virtual machine on a single hardware. But in case of private, only a single organization can create their infra. So it is expensive than the public cloud. But if I want the combination of both public and private, in that case, I can opt for the hybrid cloud, where actually some of the information I want that it should be publicly available. In that case, I can go with the public cloud, and where actually I want that I want to just keep the information within my organization. So in that case, I will go with the private cloud. So these are three deployment models. Any question, any query?
So in hybrid cloud, we will check the services that we want to put on public cloud and which ones we want on the private cloud,
Private
right?
cloud, exactly. That totally is going to be decide your solution architect, your cloud architect. There is one more job in cloud, right? And even after this, guys, if let's say you want to upgrade yourself, you can go for the cloud architect certification also. So cloud architect is basically going to design the infra, that how your infrastructure is going to be like. And as a cloud operations engineer, you have to implement that design. So architect is just going to design it, that how where the virtual machines are going to be there. Is it going to be like public or private, right? How the network is going to be configured, how security we have to implement. So they are going to just make a design, and that design you have to configure. So it is totally the responsibility of either your management or basically your solution architect, that whether they want to go for public, private, or hybrid both. So once you are going to get the design from them, you have to implement. As a cloud operations, it is your responsibility to create that infrastructure. Got it?
So example, we can take our storage services on a private cloud,
Hmm.
then our networking services on the private cloud, and if there is any website service that we can put on the public cloud.
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, if we want that our website should be available. Even I'll show you after this. So we will do a lab, right? So in that case, obviously, I'll be needing a public IP, right? Then only you guys will be able to access my website.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So these are the cloud options. So I'll be sharing this PPT guys with everyone. No need to worry about. Okay. And then we have service model. In service model, we have infrastructure as a service. So cloud is giving us the service model, infrastructure as a service, which is allowing you to create your infrastructure on their data center, and you can connect it through the network, through the internet. Basically, if your companies need virtual machines, right? They need storage, right? So they can go with it. Okay, and it would be there in the next page. Yeah, you can see infrastructure as a service. So IaaS is a cloud service that provides basic compute infrastructure. And guys, yes, in order to create this infra, we have to take the subscription. So there are two types of subscription in cloud, that is free trial basically, and the other one is pay as you go. Obviously, companies are going for pay as you go only. For trial, you have to get a credit card, and using that credit card, you will be able to get $200 for 1 month, so that you will be able to configure all the services that is available in Azure. All right. So the end users are IT administrators only. Obviously, it is our job, right, to configure the virtual machines, to make the configurations over there. So it is our responsibility. Then we have platform as a service. That is actually being used by the developers. If let's say they are going to develop any website, right, they will be needing some platform that where they are going to build it. Either it is going to be on Python, or it is going to be on Java, .NET, right? So they will be needing that kind of platform so that they will be able to run it. They will be able to test it, right? So in that case, we have platform as a service, where actually platform as a service provides uh, cloud platform and runtime environments for developing, testing, and managing application. It allows software developers to deploy application without requiring all the related infrastructure. And the users basically are software developers. So mostly this service is going to be used by the software developers. In that case, they will select their platform, that on which platform they want to configure their website, and over there they will be able to test it. They will be able to check the functionality of the website, and then they can make it on the production, right? Then last service model we have software as a service, SaaS. The example I have already given, Office 365, Intunes, right? And now even you can take example of these Google services also, Google Sheets. So all these are the example of software as a service. So in software as a service, again, as I told, your company has to take the license of Office 365, right? And rest, whatever the infrastructure is needed on the back end to run these kind of services, that is actually managed by the Microsoft. Same way, you can take example of Intunes, right? You have to just deploy the company portal into each and every laptop of your organization, and you will be able to manage those laptops. Earlier, if you were using SCCM, right? In that case, you have to build the servers in your on-prem data center. You have to make primary site, you have to make database, you have to make domain controller, and you have to manage it. But again, in Intunes, it has all those capabilities that we were able to do through SCCM. And no need to configure the infra, just take the Intune license. So whatever the infra is needed, that is going to be managed by Microsoft We need not to worry about that infrastructure. All right. Then these are multiple cloud providers in the market. Okay. AWS, Microsoft Azure, IBM Cloud, VMware, Google Cloud, DigitalOcean, Alibaba. So multiple vendors are there, right? But we'll be focusing on Microsoft Azure, right? So life cycle of a cloud computing solution. So whenever your company want to opt for the cloud, what and all should be your planning? Let's say you are already working as a systems administrator. You are working already on the on-prem data center. Then you will be able to understand it more. Because you know your requirement. You know how many virtual machines you will be needing. You know how much storage you will be needing. You know how to configure the security, how to configure the networking. So that thing definitely going to help you out in order to make the decision that if you want to opt for the cloud services, then what and all decision, what and all aspects you should be aware of. Okay, so first of all, define the purpose, that why to go for cloud, why it is needed, and which type of cloud is needed. Right? So this is totally based on the experience you have on on-prem as well as the decision of your solution architect, that which kind of cloud is going to help them the best. Right? The first and foremost step is to define the purpose for which you want to create a cloud. For this, you have to first understand your business requirement and what type of application you want to run on the cloud. After this, you have to decide whether you want your cloud to be public, private, or hybrid. Acha, hybrid can be a combination of cloud as well as your on-prem servers also. Okay, sometimes companies have their infrastructure in their data center as well as in cloud. So if they want to basically communicate between both on-prem and cloud, so it will be called as a hybrid cloud. All right. Then after getting this thing, after getting the clarity that what kind of cloud we are going with, then you have to define the hardware. How much compute power you will be needing. Acha, there is one more option. Let's say you have already your virtual machines in your on-prem data center and you want to migrate it to cloud. That is also possible. We can do that as well. That is called actually lift and shift. Migrating on-prem virtual machines to cloud. Right? So from that also you will get the clarity. Or when you are configuring it from very scratch, you don't have any data center, right? So in that case, obviously, you have to see that what is going to be the compute that will be needing on your virtual machines, because obviously cost varies for any of the organization. If initially you will go with the higher configuration, obviously the cost would be high. All right, so you have to define the purpose, define the hardware, and the next would be storage. Obviously storage is also a biggest thing, right? Where actually your data is going to be stored. Let's say you are hosting a web application, right? That application is going to dump some data, but where it will be able to dump? Inside storage only. Right? So you have to go with the storage. In basically in Azure, there are multiple type of redundancy available in case of storage as well as your virtual machine. That is LRS, ZRS, ZRS. We'll be talking in our upcoming lecture. So this is basically if let's say one of the data center is down, right? Then still you will be able to access your data from other data center. That is the part of redundancy. Okay, and obviously you are going to take the backup of your virtual machine. So that backup also is going to be stored in your storage account, in your storage only. It is going to occupy your storage, right? So every application needs a good amount of storage, obviously, right? Where its data can be stored safely. For any application storage type that should be chosen carefully, for this one should choose the storage services where they can back up and archive their data over the internet. We have multiple things in storage, guys, so I think it is not possible for me to explain it now itself, because you will get confused in that case. So what I will do, so in our upcoming lecture I will be explaining that what and all these archival mode are there, right? How you can make your data frequently accessed, how you can make your data, if let's say you are accessing your data once in a while, then you should keep it in the cold storage. If you're not accessing the data from last 2 years, you can archive that data. So multiple things are there. Then you have network. Obviously, to configure the virtual machine, to access the virtual machine, to access the services, without network we can't do anything, right? How infrastructure is communicating with each other, that is with the help of IP addressing, that is with the help of networking only. So network thing, you have to see what kind of IP range you want. You want to go with class A, you want to go with class B, you want to go with class C, right? That you have to go for. All right. Then you have security. Define the security. Obviously, if you are configuring any of the infra, right? For in you can take example of your on-prem also. You have a firewall over there, right? Which is going to manage the inbound and outbound traffic. So in case of Azure also, in case of cloud also, we have the same thing, that whether we want to go for firewall. And yes, we have all these firewall options available in Azure. Like you want to go with FortiGate, you want to go with any other, like any vendor specific firewall. By default, there is a Azure firewall available. Or but you want to, if you want to go with the vendor specific firewall, that option also available in the Azure. All right. So security you will define, that who will be able to connect, right? What and all traffic you are allowing. So all those things you are going to define in the security. Then define the management. Management in the sense, you will be needing some monitoring tools to monitor your infra. Right? Let's say the CPU utilization of any of the virtual machine is going more than 80%. So in that case, you should be needing one alert so that you will be aware of, and then you can take the necessary action. That we can do with the help of monitoring. So that monitoring option also we available in the Azure. Or if let's say you want to go with the vendor specific monitoring tool like Datadog, Prometheus, right? And then you have Acronix, multiple tools are there. You can go with that as well. Like you want vulnerability management tool, Nessus, Qualys, right? That option also available in the Azure. You can go to the marketplace, Azure marketplace, and from there you will get all these vendor specific, uh, monitoring tools and all, security tools and all. Like we have Play Store in our Android phones, right? From there we will be able to download all the application. Likewise, Azure has marketplace, where actually you can opt for the service, a vendor specific service, if you want to go with. All right. Then the last one is testing and process. So once you are clear with all those 6 steps, once you have made your decision on all those 6 steps, right? Then you have to test it. Whether what and all options you have selected, you have to test it. You have to make a test environment first of all, staging environment first of all. So for any of the client guys, right? Whenever you are going to work on a project, right? So first of all, you are going to build a test environment rather than implementing or rather than going with production directly. No, you should implement it. You should test it, whether it is working as expected or not. If it is working like that, then only you should go for the production. This is the industry practice actually. So once you are clear with it, once your test environment is working fine, right? Based on the network, based on the security, based on the storage, based on the compute, once everything is working fine, then you can go for the production configuration, the real-time configuration, right? So this is all about a basic on cloud, right? And as I told, that cost varies, guys, right? For any of the organization, obviously, cost is the major part. So every time if you want to get some idea, right? So you can use Azure calculator. Azure calculator. So what and all service you want to configure? Let's say you want to configure virtual machine. Virtual machine, right? So select virtual machine. View, and then you have to select in which region. Yes, guys, it varies. Depending upon the region you are selecting, the cost varies because each country has their own taxation system, right? So it might possible in India, you will get that virtual machine in like lesser price, or in any other location in US, you can get it in, a higher price. So region varies. Based on region, your price will vary. Okay. So for example, I'm creating it in East US operating system. Which kind of operating system you want to create? Yes, Linux is more cheaper than Windows. Now that is your choice. Which kind of operating system you want to create? Microsoft only supports Linux and Windows. All right, so I'm going with, for example, Windows, and for now I'm not going with tier and all, right? So let me just go with the default options. I'll be explaining in the topic itself, right? And we have categories also, that what kind of category you want to create. You want to go with a high performance compute, you want a memory optimized, you want a storage optimized. So for now I'm just going with all. And we have instance series also. Even guys, this is going to be your homework, right? So you have to go through with all these of series available of virtual machines. It will gonna help you out whenever you're going to make the decision to create your virtual machine on cloud. Okay, so just go through. I will give you the link. So from that link, you have to go through with all the series available with the virtual machine. Okay. Now, instance size. You want to go with 2 virtual CPU or 8 gig of RAM, or you can expand it and you can get more also, like 14 GB RAM, right? 8 core CPU. Okay. So obviously higher will be the compute, higher will be the price, right? So for example, I'm just going with the default one, and I am going to run it for 1 month. All right. Now what would be the cost? It would be $137, guys. If I am going to run one virtual machine of this compute power 24 into 7 for 1 month, the cost would be $137. And yes, when you are going to stop this virtual machine, Microsoft is not going to charge. Microsoft will charge a small amount. Basically, it is going to be for storage only. And that is going to be very minimal, right? It doesn't mean if you are stopping your virtual machine, if you kept your virtual machine in stopped state, so Microsoft is not going to charge anything. That is what pay as you go is. As soon as you are going to start the service, then only Microsoft will start charging you. If it is in stopped state, Microsoft will charge only a small amount. That is all of storage only. Or if let's say you opt for the public IP, so in that case, it will charge for the public IP as well. If you're running it for 24 into 7 for 1 month, then this is going to be the complete amount that you have to pay. Right? So this calculator link I am giving you in your chat. So go through with it. Until now, any doubt, any question?
Yeah, I have an doubt.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
They have a virtual machine with a specific configuration like 8 GB and some processor. Can we upgrade it after a few days? Or
You are
how
barely
will we
audible to
have
me.
it?
Can you please come again?
So I have set up the virtual machine
Okay,
with the 8 GB RAM and some 2 TB of hard disk storage.
all right.
And for after a few months, I need to upgrade it,
Yes,
like from 8 GB to some 32 GB RAM
yes,
or the different processor.
yes.
Whether can I upgrade it through
You
the
can,
same platform or need to create a separate
no, no,
cloud
no.
instance?
Existing one, you can upgrade it.
Okay,
It will take, this is what I explained explained initially, right? Whenever you want to upgrade, whenever you want to resize your virtual machine, you can do it at any point of time.
sure.
All right. Yeah,
So we discussed about public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud.
exactly. Yes.
In case we are going for hybrid cloud,
Hmm.
keeping in mind that we might need something to be kept private to us, but
Yes.
the current requirement is that all the services has to be on the public cloud.
Hmm.
So if we don't have anything on the, we have everything on the public cloud, but the
Hmm.
model is hybrid cloud we have opted for.
Uh,
So would that have the same cost as the public cloud, or would it be different?
it would be different.
Okay, because we opted for
See,
hybrid
yeah,
cloud.
yeah. So see, if you are opting hybrid cloud with your on-prem data center,
Okay.
then the cost will be same, right? But if you are going on cloud, if purely going on cloud, right? You
Mhm.
have the infra publicly available as well as privately available. So obviously the cost will vary.
Okay, but we haven't opted for any private cloud service
You
as
have
of
not gone,
now.
okay, then no cost will be there.
Okay.
This is what I told, right? Pay as you go. As soon
Okay.
as you are going to start the service, as soon as you are going to configure the service, from
Mhm.
that time itself, Microsoft will start charging you.
So
Or even after
basically,
opting for it, just a second,
Mhm.
let me complete. Or
Mhm.
even after opting for it, let's say you have deleted the services. In that case, also Microsoft will not gonna charge you.
Okay.
All
So
right.
basically, it's just a concept that this is public
Exactly.
cloud, this is private
Exactly.
cloud, this is hybrid
Exactly.
cloud. Oh,
You can take one example. Okay, I'll give you one example. See, let's say you are hosting a website, right? In that case, you have to make sure that your website should be available for each and every user.
yes.
But are you going to share your database, application database with the customers?
No.
That is going to be with you only, right? Only you are going to have access on it. Only your team is going to have access on it.
Right.
So that is the biggest example to understand it. Even you
Okay.
can take example of Amazon, right? You are able to see Amazon.com. You are able to see the products, but are you able to see the customers' data?
No.
You can see only your data, right?
Mhm.
Other data you are not able to see. That Amazon kept as private only. So this
Right.
is the
So we
concept.
won't have the option to choose that I want to go with public cloud, or this is just a concept to understand about
Yes,
the services.
exactly,
Oh,
exactly, exactly.
okay.
Okay, so this is about the basic idea on cloud computing, guys, right? And as you know, um, to go for the configuration to get the services in cloud, right? So we have two models, that is free Azure or pay as you go. I'm already using pay as you go account for my trainings. Rest, if let's say you want to go for a free trial, then in that case, you will be needing a unique credit card that you have not been ever used in order to create Azure account. Okay, and how to create that free trial account, I will be helping you out in our upcoming lecture. Okay, or if you want to just get an idea, just go to try Azure for free. right? You can see free or pay as you go. So let's say you want to go for Azure free. So in that case, you have to sign up. You have to create a uh, account, Microsoft account. It can be anything. So after creating the Microsoft account, it is going to ask you for some of the information like your contact number, your address, right? Your city, yeah, all those basic information it will ask. And after that, to opt for the free services, it is going to ask you for your credit card. Earlier, it used to give the option with debit card also, but now they have stopped this. They are just giving this option with the credit card only. Visa and even RuPay card will not work, guys. You have to get either Visa or MasterCard. Only these two cards will work. All right. So it's a simple like configuration to get the free trial, but still, if you are not able to get it, let me know. In our lecture, I will be explaining it. Okay. Now to host a simple website, we will do a simple demo, guys, right? To host a website, obviously we have to create a server first of all. So it can be either a Windows machine or it can be a Linux machine. Or you can go with the app services also. But for now, we are not talking about app services. We are just focusing on to host a website on Windows machine. All right. So whenever you want to create any kind of service, either it would be infrastructure, either it would be storage, right? Whatever it would be. First of all, you have to create a resource group. Resource group. So resource group is basically going to be a container, a kind of container basically, right? Where you are going to add all the services. Let's say I created this resource group with the name RG1. Name we have to provide, right? Without name, we can't do anything. Okay, RG1. Now, whatever the service I'm going to configure in Azure, if let's say I want to configure a virtual machine, so it is going to be inside resource group. I want to configure firewall. It is going to be inside resource group. I want to configure virtual network. It is going to be inside resource group only. Means whatever service is there, either it would be DNS, it would be load balancers, it would be application gateway, it would be VPN. Everything is going to be there inside the resource group. As the name says, resource group, right? Where actually you are going to group all the resources is going to be the resource group, right? So even if I want to create a virtual machine, you can see my subscription is pay as you go, right? And the resource group, you can see a red star here, which means it is mandatory. Wherever you can see red star, guys, these options are mandatory. Without these, we will not be able to go further. All right, so I have to create a resource group. So either you can create a resource group now itself, or before creating your service, you can create your resource group. So you can go to search and you can type resource group, right? And you can create the resource group, like create resource group name. For example, I'm giving RG1, or in which region you want to create. For example, I'm going with India, and then review and create. So I have one resource group, right? And now let's go back and let's create the virtual machine. Create as your virtual machine. Select your resource group, which is RG1. And now virtual machine name. For example, I'm giving the name as web-server. Region is going to be Central India itself. Now availability zone. If I want, the same type of virtual machine is going to be configured in 3 different zones, in 3 different data centers. In that case, I can go for the availability zone, and then you can see zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So what it will do, if I'm selecting all those three options, it is going to create three virtual machine: web server -1, web server -2, web server -3, just for the backup purpose. If any of the server will be down, or let's say if any of the data center would be down, so in that case also Microsoft is ensuring that your customers will be able to access the data. This is just for the high availability. And see guys, as soon as I have selected these three, the cost also it went around 28,000. But if I'll uncheck it, it is going to be around 9,500 per month. All right. So for us, it is not needed, right? We are just doing on the lab purpose. In real time, it can be. Whenever you are going to work with the company, right? In that case, it is going to be there. Definitely, it would be there. All right. So I'm not going for it for now. So for now, I will select no infrastructure redundancy required. And security type, I'm just going with the standard. And then you have image. What kind of operating system you want? You want to go with Windows Server 22, or you want to go with Linux, or any other Linux version? You can select. You can go with the 2019 server also, 2016 version also. You can go with Red Hat. You can go with Oracle Linux. You can go with SUSE Linux, right? So all these options available, right? So I'm just going with the server 22. VM architecture is going to be a 64-bit, and this is going to be the size. One virtual CPU, 3.5 gig of RAM. This is what I told guys. Lower will be the compute, lower will be the price. Higher will be the compute, higher would be the price. If you want to see the comparison, let me go with 2 virtual CPU and 8 gig of memory. The estimated code would go around 13,000 rupees. Right? So for now, our lab purpose, we are okay. And let me go with 2 virtual CPU only. And username, in order to connect this virtual machine, we will be needing a username, right? So for example, I'm giving the username as, and I will give the password. The password is, so it should be minimum of 12 characters. All right. Okay. Now inbound ports. Who and all will be able to enter into the server? So obviously, in order to take this system on remote, we have to enable RDP port. Likewise, if you are going to configure Linux, we have to enable SSH port, port 22. Right? So I'm enabling 3389. Along with it, as I'm going to configure website onto it, so I have to enable HTTP port as well. If let's say I have a certificate, then I can go with HTTPS also. But for now, I don't have SSL. So I'm just going with HTTP port 80. That means user from outside, they will be able to send the RDP request to this virtual machine, as well as they will be able to send the request to port 80. And you already know HTTP works on port 80. That is why we are allowing it. Okay. Then next, disk. This is the disk, guys. So every time whenever you are going to create a Windows operating system, by default, your the C drive is going to get 127 GB. But if you want to expand it, you can go up to 2 TB. C drive, you can go up to 2 TB. And even guys, later on also you can expand the disk size. Let's say for now I'm going with 127 GB and my C drive is occupied. It left with 5 GB of free space. I can expand it. There is not any issue. Right? I can make it up to 2 TB. Or there is an option of customization also. Let's say you want to expand it to 200 GB, but 200 GB is not available here. So once you are going to expand it, you are going to get a customization option, and over there you can go with 200 GB as well. All right. So for now, I'm just going with 127 GB, and these are the disk type, guys. You can see SSD, premium SSD, standard SSD, standard SSD. Now again, premium SSD, the read write operation speed would be high. And again, price also vary, right? So if let's say I'm going with standard SSD, the price would be somewhere around 12,800 rupees. Okay. And if I'll go with the standard SDD, the normal hard disk, it would be around, there is no as such gap, right? Only 300 rupees gap is there, but still you can see a difference in the pricing also. Okay. So I'm just going with the premium SSD option. Rest, you want to connect any other disk, let's say E drive, F drive, G drive, right? So all those drives you want to connect, in that case, you can go to this option and you can attach it. Even practically also, I'll show you in the lectures itself. So for now, let's go with the default only and then go next. Networking. Obviously, as I told, networking is also must, guys. Right? So virtual network name, it is going to create with the name of web server VNet. By default, subnet, it is taking 10.0.0/24. But let's say you want to go with class B IP or class C IP, you can make the customization, you can do that. You want to go with class C, you can do that. You want to go with class B, you can make the change in your address space and you can change it. Okay, so if you want to see, so you can go to this virtual network, create new, and here you can see 10 series network is there, 10.0.0/16. But no, I want to go with class C network, right? So I will delete it and I will add the address range as 192.168.0.0/16, right? And the subnet, it is going to create the subnet, right? So subnet, for example, I'm creating with the name subnet-1, and the address range I'm creating with 192.168.1.0/24. Likewise, I can create as many as subnets I want, right? And then okay. You can see now the subnet 1 has the IP range 192.168.1.0. And in order to connect this virtual machine, right, we will be needing one public IP for now, but later on we have multiple topic like VPN, Bastion, right? So over there, I'll show you that how we will be able to connect it with the private IP also. Okay, for now we are just going with the public IP. So in public IP, I'll go with basic and static, and then okay. And rest of the things are fine, guys. I will be explaining it later on. You can see load balancer, application gateway. So these are other things. We are not discussing it for now. We just want to do a simple demo, right? And then review and create. This management monitoring. So all these things we will discuss in the topic. All right, and then create. So that the price would be, Microsoft is going to charge 16 rupees per hour. Okay, and estimated cost would be 14,000 rupees, and then create. Okay, so meanwhile it is getting created. Let's create one more virtual machine with Linux operating system. Okay, resource group, I'm going with the same RG1, and virtual machine name Linux-VM, and the Central India is fine. I don't want availability zone for now. I don't want any backup, right? I'll go with the standard security, and then I'm going with Ubuntu server 24.04. And I think this much is not needed. We can go with the smaller one virtual CPU, 3.5 gig of memory, right? So to connect this virtual machine, we can connect it via public key also, or we can do a password based authentication also. So I'm going with the password based authentication, right? And I'm going to give the username and then the password. Something wrong.
Yeah, I have a doubt in this.
Yep.
Yeah, instead of creating this user ID and password,
Hmm.
do we have an option to set up the single sign-on?
Yeah,
option?
enter ID, we can do that. Yes. We have that option.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So obviously to connect this virtual machine, it's a Linux one, right? So I have to enable port 22, and obviously I'm creating a website here. So I'll be enabling port 80 here as well. And then next. Now in case of Linux VM, so by default, the operating system disk size is going to be 30 GB. Okay, and again, you can go up to 2 TB. All right. So let it be by default. I'm not making any change. And again, you can attach a disk, an external disk you want to attach, you can do that. Next, networking. And in networking, no, I don't want to create another one network. Okay, it is getting created. Huh? Okay. So anyways, we will create a new VNet with the name Linux-VM VNet. Subnet is fine. And then public IP basic and standard. And then okay. Allowed port are port 80 and 22. And rest of the things are fine. Just review and create. Meanwhile, let's connect our Windows virtual machine. Right, so this is our Windows VM and you can see the public IP, right? So if I'll open it, let me copy this public IP and let's go to MSTSC. Give the username and password. Here we go, right? So we are connected with our VM. Okay, to host a website on Windows VM, right? What feature we should install in the Windows VM?
To host a website,
Yes,
IIS service.
exactly. Right, so we have to install IIS service in the server to configure our website. All right. All right, guys. So this is my server, right? So on this machine, I will configure IIS feature. Let's wait. This refresh is going on, right? Yeah, it's completed. Now add roles and features. Go next. Go next. Next. And select here web server IIS. Add feature. Then next. 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 Restart if needed. And then install it. And guys, whenever we used to install this web server feature, right? So by default, there is going to be a web page to test whether our web server is working fine or not, right? So even if you want to test whether our web server is working, right? So just try to access this public IP I'm giving you in the chat on your browsers. Just let it complete. And after that, you have to access this public IP on your browser and let me know what you can see. Meanwhile, let me see what's going on with our Linux VM. Hopefully it is completed. It's still going on, huh? It's done, yeah. Refresh. What happened? Did we cancel it? Oh, I think I just cancelled. It triggered the command, but yeah. Anyways, let's create it again then. I think I just cancelled it. I have not given the command to create it. Okay, anyways, let's create it again. Meanwhile, let me know what status you are getting. Ubuntu. Password-based authentication. Okay, port 22 and port 80. Then next disk. Disk is fine. Networking. Okay, web server VNet subnet is fine. And public IP, I'll go with basic and static, and rest of the things are fine. Just review and create. Create. Okay, it's completed, right? So try to access that public IP on your browsers. Public IP is in your chat, Zoom chat.
We're not able to access actually.
Is it? Let me check then. Okay. What's went wrong then? IS is installed, right? Port 80 we have already enabled, right? Yeah, HTTP port it is already enabled. It should work. Okay, you know the default location, right? So I'll go to the location and let me check what's going on. C inet pub www root, and this is the default page. Ideally, you should be able to see this page. This page. This is the default page actually to test whether your web server is working fine or not. Okay, but it's not working, huh? It's working for you, Prashant?
Yes, it is accessible for me.
Okay, okay. Might be so our DNS is not able to resolve. Just wait for some time. Definitely we will also be able to access it. The site is running, right? Refresh. Why it is not working for us then? Yep, working for me.
It's
Guys, try
working
to
for
open a new
me,
window. Yeah, it
working
should
for
work.
me on the phone, but not on the computer.
Just wait for some time, definitely. Just close your window and try to access it again. Right, so this is the default page. But obviously in real time, we are not going to have this default page. We are going to have the real website. Okay, so if you want to see the real website also, how to host a real website. So in that case, we have to get the web pages from our developer. So for your understanding, right, I'm just going to download a free website. Okay. Um, where we can download it. Free website. It would be something CSS. Yeah, right. So if I'll go to it, I will be able to get multiple templates. Okay. For example, I'm going with this Medi Plus. Okay. And then download. All right. Now let me go to this file. Let's copy it and let's go to C drive, inetpub, www, and you have to keep this folder here. Right. After this, let's go to IIS feature again, IIS service again, and you have to remove the default site. Right. And now I'm going to create my website here with the name MediPlus, right? MediPlus. And what is going to be the path? Path is C, inetpub, www, and here is this MediPlus Lite, and then okay. Rest of the things are fine. Just okay. Now try to refresh that page, guys. It is working for me.
Yeah, it's working.
Right? So this is how you can host a website on a Windows machine. All right. Now let's do the same thing on Linux. So in case of Linux, guys, what feature we should install? What service we should install? Any idea?
Apache Web Services.
Exactly, Apache. So guys, see, my lectures or my classes are going to be interactive. So I just want you to participate, right? So that even I will be able to understand that you are able to get the things, or whatever I'm explaining, you are able to understand it or not. So please be interactive, right? Speak wrong, there is not any issue, but at least speak yourself. All right. Then, yeah, I have a Linux VM, and let me copy its public IP. Yeah, this is the public IP of Linux VM. And let me go to my command prompt. You can use either any tool also, like Cygwin you can use, right? Putty you can use, multiple tools are there, or you can use it if, let's say, SSH is already there, so you can connect it through your command prompt as well. Okay, so I'll do SSH Sandeep @ public IP and then enter. So it is asking for fingerprint. Yes. Password, because we selected password based authentication, that is why it is asking for the password. So we are connected with our Linux VM also, guys. Right? So first and foremost thing is to get the latest update. So what I'll do, sudo apt-get, apt-get update -y. Sorry. All right, so it is going to download all the latest updates. Right, and after that we have to install the Apache. So sudo apt-get install Apache 2-y. Enter. Done. Right. So in case of Windows also, guys, there is a default path, and in case of Linux also there is going to be a default path. Any idea what it is?
default path for the web folder like we had in
Web
inet
folder.
pub.
Exactly. Yes.
Not sure for Linux.
Okay. Anyone else? Sorry. Okay, so guys, as in Windows, we were able to see that default page. Same way, try to access the public IP of this VM. I'm giving you in the chat. I just want to show you the comparison actually. Try to access this public IP on your browser and let me know what page you can see.
It's not accessible as of now. Site can't
Just
be
wait.
reached.
Yeah. Just
It
wait.
is Apache default server page.
Exactly. That is again the default page which we were able to see in the Windows machine.
Right.
Right? That is the default index.html page. Right? So the location of that index.html page will be I got disconnected. Just a sec. I'm not able to type anything. Give me a moment. Guys, for now, this public IP, even you can do SSH on this public IP. You will also get the pop-up to add the credentials, right? Because for now it is available for everyone. Anyone can do it. But if I want to restrict that only it should allow RDP request or SSH request from a particular public IP, that also is possible. Right? That also we will see in the NSG topic, network security group topic, where actually we are going to allow only a particular a public IP to send the HTTP request or RDP request or SSH request. So we are going to have that kind of privileges. Okay. Let me try again. SSH. Public IP. Did I copy it? Huh. All right. Okay. The default path would be you have to go to CD, change directory, right? var variable, right? And then slash www and slash html. All right. And then enter. So if you will do ls list, you can see the index.html, the default page, which you are able to see now. But I want to add my own, right? So first of all, what I will do, I am going to remove sudo rm index.html. I will remove this page first of all. Right now, if we'll do ls, there is no as such folders available. Sorry, file available, right? Index.html is not there. Now to create the index.html page, I will use the command sudo nano. Nano is the editor basically, right? Sudo nano index.html and then enter. Right? Now write whatever you want. Okay, for example, I'm writing welcome to my website. All right. So let's save it. Yeah, can you try to access, guys? Can you see what page you can see?
Yeah, we're getting the same like the one which you got.
Okay, you're not able to see welcome to my website, huh?
Yeah, we could see that.
Yeah, that's great then. Right? So this is how you can host a website on Linux. Likewise, if you want to add the same website which we have added in the Windows, you can do that as well. You can place the folder over there and then you can access the website using this public IP. Right? Now, obviously, guys, in real time, you are not going to access these website with the public IPs, right? You are going to access it with the name. So in that case, we have to purchase the domain name from either Hostinger or from GoDaddy. So once you will purchase the domain name, you can bind this public IP with that domain, and then you guys will be able to access the website with the name as well. Like you used to access facebook.com, google.com, right? So same way, you can get the domain name and you can bind it with the public IP, and then you will be able to access the website with the name also. So this is all about today. As I told, we in our 104 module, we are going to strictly follow the topics that are provided by the Microsoft. And for that, I have already prepared around 9 modules. Like, let me show you. Yeah, right. Interview questions, books, right? So everything I'll be providing you. Okay. So we have module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So for example, if I'm opening any one of them, module 5, right? So in module 5, you will be able to see it is related to, I think, network, right? Yeah. Virtual network, VNet components, what is VNet peering, how to connect VNet to VNet, VPN, right? How to create your own routes in Azure, right? So all those things are going to be there in this. And then if I'll open any other PPT, like module 6, I think it would be related to Azure security, firewall and all. Load balancers, yeah, load balancer you can see. And then network watcher, public load balancers, right? Troubleshooting, if let's say you are facing any kind of issues with the load balancer, but and all should be your troubleshooting process, right? And then application gateway, path-based routing, like you are able to access, see, Google/images, right? You are redirected to images.google.com, Google Images. Why? Because you have given the path that you want to go to images only. You can go through Google as well. Once you can access Google, and then you can go to images, right? But if you want to do a path-based routing, so your load balancer will transfer your traffic to the server where actually images are hosted. Just to give you a glimpse on it. So what is happening in the path-based routing? So there is going to be a load balancer as a front end. Right? So with this load balancers, multiple backend pools are connected. Like pool 1, pool 2, and pool 3. In these pools, multiple virtual machines are there. It can be either Windows or it can be a Linux machine. Right? Now let's say this pool 1 is for images. This pool 1 is for images. right? This pool 2 is for maps, for example, Google Maps. Right? And this one is for main website, which is google.com. Now, whenever a user is going to be this, right? So let's say this user is trying to access the website from their laptop, right? So user will send that request. Let's say this user want to access images. So in that case, load balancer will transfer the request to the pool where actually images are hosted. This is path-based routing. Same way, if user want to access google.com, the load balancer will transfer the traffic to google.com like this. This is called path-based routing. Okay, this also we will see in our lectures. So almost, guys, it is going to be a whole training is of around 35 to 40 hours, right? In which I'll be helping you out with all the topics of 104, with all the interview questions, with all the scenario based questions, and all the PPTs and the study materials. Okay. Now, any doubt, any questions for me before we wrap up?
I have two questions. One
Yeah,
is
go ahead,
that
please.
do we have to create a free account on Azure and we'll perform all the practicals there, or there is a portal of networkings where we can
No,
perform
no,
it?
no. You have to get it. You have to get it by your own. Or if let's say you want to do the practicals, right? You don't have the credit card, or let's say you have already used your credit card, you are already exhausted your credit card. So in that case, we can help you out with the sponsorship subscription, but for that you have to pay a small amount, like around 1200 or something, right? So that amount you have to pay.
So
In
that
that case, you
free,
will get $100.
okay, that
Yeah,
free trial account that we'll be creating with
yeah.
our own ID and credit card, that would
Huh.
be applicable for 1 month, right?
1 month, yes.
But the course is for, I think, 2 months or 6 months, I guess.
No, 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 no. No, okay. So for 104, I think 1 month is more than enough. Okay. And for rest of the courses, yes, again, you have to either you have to go for, see, you can go for pay as you go also. Let me give you an example, right? See, this account I am using for my trainings from last 1 month, right? So one Azure batch is about to complete, right? And let me show you the cost. ₹600. I think this we can afford, right?
So
So
means
you
we
can go
have
with the pay
to.
as you go also if you want.
And what kind of lab scenarios will be performing? Like in the when we start, we'll start with the basics, like
Basics, yes.
deploying a virtual machine and everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at the when we reach the end of the course, what kind of
Mhm.
lab scenarios will be performing? If you can give an example, one or two.
Example in the sense, this is what I explained, right? If let's say your companies want to do the path-based routing, they want to configure the load balancers for their website. Obviously, if let's say one server is overloaded, right? So we have to configure load balancer. Hopefully, you are aware of this concept, right?
Right.
So in that case, how we can configure it on the Azure, right? So this would be one lab. One would be like virtual machine scale set. What it will do if let's say one virtual machine is overloaded, or it is reaching to the 80% of CPU utilization. So what it will do, it will auto create one more virtual machine. And once it will back to normal, it will delete all the virtual machine which is going to be created during that process. That is also one more lab, right? Like that, we have multiple things, right? That is what I mentioned, just related to 104, what and all topics are there. We will be doing the real time scenarios. We will be doing the real time labs on all those topics.
Because usually what happens when we create a free trial account or we practice the labs, we
Mhm.
only create one VM or two VMs and things
Yes,
like
yes,
this. But when we go
yes.
for an interview, they
Uh-huh.
ask questions related to a live environment that have hundreds of virtual machines, and if there is an issue occurs with
So
the
don't worry now. So once you are
running
able to
environment.
handle 2 or 3 virtual machine, you will be able to handle other 100 also. I solely managing around 5,000 machines,
Mhm.
right? So there is not any issue. Once your concept is clear, once you know the concept, you will be able to troubleshoot. Either it would be 10,000 or it would be 1 lakhs, right? So it's not as such difficult. So you have to just understand the concept first of all. If you know the basic, if you know the concept, you will be able to troubleshoot the issues.
Okay.
And even in my lectures, right? So what and all going to be the possible troubleshooting steps? So definitely, I'll be explaining it time to time.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. I just have one doubt. Sorry, I joined late.
No problem.
I have worked on AWS and I have done certification on AZ-104 also. So I
Hmm.
just want to know like which is better to go for like master program, whether AWS or Azure, like considering the market share and all of the like
See,
opportunities.
so guys, to be very honest, right? Yes, AWS is the market leader, right?
Yeah, yeah.
AWS is on top, right? But yes, second is Microsoft. So they have a like the good competitors, right? They are good competitors actually, and as such, there is no difference, right? See, I'm a Azure certified, right? I have Azure certification, but in my organization, I'm working on AWS also, right?
Okay.
The concept is you have just the thing is you have to just understand the concept. See, here we are creating the virtual machine, and in AWS, it is called as EC2 instance,
Yeah, I'm
right?
just checking like the opportunities, like job opportunities, how it will be for Azure.
No.
Like
See, that is what I told. Once you are good with the concept, right, you can work on AWS as well as you can work on Azure. Opportunities are there in cloud technology only. Companies are not looking for particularly for AWS, right? So they will look if you knows the concept, if you know the configuration, right? If you knows the like troubleshooting, some types of troubleshooting, right? Then they will definitely hire you because obviously they are going to give you the KTs also. They're going to show you their infrastructure that how it is going to be like. I was purely on Azure, but when I got interviewed, right, they asked me about AWS. So I was able to explain the concept. So they hired me, right? So it's not a big deal. The thing is you have to just clear your concept. You have to just clear your basic points. That's it.
okay. Yeah,
Rest you
and
will be
in,
able to
in
get the
this
job in
course, like
AWS.
we'll also be getting that VPN configuration and all. Like
Yeah,
how we
VPN we
do
will
it
do.
from
Yeah, VPN
cloud
we
to
will do.
on-prem
Site
connection
to
and that.
y-
Yeah,
only this single lab we will not be able to do, which is called express routing in Azure.
yeah, yeah.
Because see, in that case, we have to take the help from ISP, and ISP used to, charge a huge amount to get it done. So that single lab we can't do it, but I will explain it that what is the process, what you have to do in that case, what is going to be the whole process that you have to follow. So I'll be explaining it, and even it is in my PPTs also, no need to worry about. So I will let you know that, and even if I'll get some related video, I will be sharing it with you. Only that
Yeah.
single lab I will not be able to show.
Is Azure DevOps also covered or only the security
No,
and
DevOps
admin?
is different thing, right?
Okay.
First
I mean,
of
like,
all,
is it part of a program or is it completely different? I mean,
no, it is different. So you can go with the Azure DevOps program also. That there is a different course available with us. So you can go with that
oh,
and you can opt for it. Yeah.
thank you. Thank
Basically,
you.
see, if you want to learn DevOps, right? So in that case, you should be handy with the cloud first of all.
Yeah.
You should be knowing it that how it is going to be configured, what it is going to do. So once you are able to understand it, then you will be able to use automation, then you will be able to use Terraform. Multiple tools are there, right? Chef, Jenkins, right? CI/CD pipelines and all. So yes, obviously that is the future. We have to learn it after that. And even I would recommend guys, once you are going to complete all these modules, either 104, 500, 700, you should learn DevOps also, because DevOps engineers nowadays, it is a highly paid job. All right. This is just for everyone. Am I clear, Chandar?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else? All right then. Thanks for joining the session, guys. You can connect with the backend team. They will help you out with the further process. All right.
Yeah. And what is the duration for this session? It's like for
It is going to be
classes.
on weekends, right?
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday. And the duration would be 2 hours. I mean, 4 hours a week.
4 hours. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Chalo. So, all right, guys. Thanks for joining. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Sudeep.
Bye.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.